What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we'll be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as XRP to US dollar. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notification, leave a giant thumbs up if you want to see more content like this. Otherwise, something new to the channel is I did actually make a playlist. Basically, if you guys are beginners or you are new to cryptocurrency and you do want to learn more, click on my playlist on my channel and you can see I've uploaded a couple videos basically going a little more in depth in terms of kind of breaking things down, making the terms and everything that I use a little bit more simpler. So if you did want to see that, the playlist is on my channel. Otherwise, let's jump into today's video. So we are going to be looking at the recent correction we just saw within cryptocurrency, and are we going to see a lower dip? Are we going to see a retracement back up due to this? What exactly are we seeing? So that's pretty much the question we're going to be answering in today's episode. Otherwise, let's move on. We're on the current coin market cap. I just refreshed the page, and one thing to note is that we are the market cap is around 214 billion. So taking that into consideration, yesterday we were at 218, so that's a $4 billion drop. 24-hour volume is 14 bill, and then Bitcoin dominance is 52.3. So interesting thing, Bitcoin dominance is gaining, or rising, so we are seeing altcoins drop lower. Then 24-hour volume is 14.0. So honestly, that's seemingly staying about the same. Reason being is we are seeing the volume come into the market in a negative way. We're seeing money leave the exchanges, which is in terms keeping the 24-hour volume up. But we are seeing a decrease in the current market cap. So we are seeing most likely a red market today. And as I scroll down, we are seeing exactly that. We are looking at these top 10 cryptos right now. And as you guys notice, Bitcoin is only down 1%, which is why we're seeing that increase in Bitcoin dominance. If you look at the altcoins are at least down by 2 or 3%. Ethereum down by 2.3. XRP taking the biggest hit, which is interesting, down by -8%. Bitcoin Cash down by 7%. We see Litecoin down by 3%. Otherwise, only Tether seems to be doing quite okay. If you notice, it's just been flatlined the past couple of days, where there has been no volume at all reaching Tether. Otherwise, you guys can see we had a nice little run up in the past, and now we're seeing that retracement back down, that correction. So nothing too nothing too unnoticed, nothing too wild or crazy, or not according to plan. But the interesting thing that I do want to point out is what has been going on recently with this graph. So we are looking at Litecoin on the 4-hour, and what we were anticipating was a bounce off of support, as we guys have saying. Now, interesting enough, we are looking at this on the 4-hour charts, and like I've mentioned in previous videos, when we look at 4-hour charts, what we need to take into consideration is that these, yes, they are significant uptrends, but they don't hold that strong. They only hold strong on the weekly and the daily graphs. 4-hour does help us gauge the direction of the price, but they don't hold as strong as a daily graph or a weekly graph, that is. The interesting thing is the high-low MMAs do play the most importance on these graphs. So as you guys can see, the high-low middle moving average is here. And you can see there was a slight uptrend, and the slightest seems to have ended right there, but we'll leave this on here in case we correct upwards. But it's interesting. You can see the resistance we had from the high-low MMA in the past, bounced down to support, broke bullish through that, used road support at around 53. We actually closed a candle, above $55, which is fairly nice, if you ask me. But the interesting and the unfortunate part is when we did break above 55, we entered an overbought, market. So that is one of the reasons for the pullback. So we are seeing a small correction in the price due to the fact that we are correcting downwards and moving down. Interesting enough is like I've said in yesterday's video, we're going to test this support right here. And as you can see, we finally caught up to the support, and we traded out sideways using the 53 and this uptrend as a support. Unfortunately, we broke bearish from that. We could not hold this that long, and we did fall. But as we have said, you can see the support, the resistance we've had on the green band. We're currently seeing support on the red band. So the high-low MMA is acting as a very strong support right now. I'd be very shocked if we broke below the high-low MMA at this current level. I do think we're going to hit it and retrace up off of that. Hopefully we can steer clear of this downtrend right here, of this high-low MMA. We don't want to be in this channel at all. So we are looking for some sort of retracement back upwards, maybe to the $53 level, and then eventually getting back above that. We'd really be better off using 53 as the support instead of the high-low MMA, because this does become a dangerous move as we continue on, because we could break bearish from that and then use it as a resistance, and that is definitely something we don't want to do. So we really want to kind of retrace back up, move back up, hang out with that 53 right there, and then consolidate out, if not break above here. But this line is, you know, pretty unstable at best. But we're really, you know, it's a very interesting market right now. On the 4 hour, it's hard to graph. You know, doing a lot of technical analysis on 4 hour isn't the smartest thing. So I will just take us off and make us look at the daily. Daily does seem a little bit brighter, honestly. There does seem to be a lot more. Things look a lot better on the 4 hour. I mean, sorry, on the daily. So a few things to note is that we are still below our high-low MMA. To me, on the daily, the fact that we are below our high-low MMA pretty much tells me that we are due to retest that anytime soon. You can see how often we come into contact on the 4 hour with Litecoin on its 4 hours, so with the price. So it's interesting enough that I do anticipate a move back up to our support, our high-low MMA on the daily fairly soon. You know, I've been calling it for quite some time, but it doesn't change. You know, in the next couple of weeks, a move back up to here is definitely something that is going to be prolonged, but definitely an inevitable move. So, you know, I've been calling it since around $67, $70 back up here. But the fact that we have actually gotten back above this line, which is also interesting. We have this huge yellow downtrend, and you could see we broke finally bullish from that. And it seems like we're going to most likely bounce up off of that and continue up. But a nice run would obviously be breaking 55 and heading back up to around $62. And I know that's, you know, nowhere near as high as what we've seen, you know, a $300, $350, $400 Litecoin. But a nice move, you know, if people who just bought in at 50, ride it up to 60, you know, you could make $10 profit per coin. That adds up fairly quick. That is a good play. But definitely a move back up to here is where we're looking for, what we're shooting for. Moving on to Bitcoin's 4 hour, apologize. So Bitcoin, like I said, interesting enough, and I did mention it in yesterday's video. I just didn't do it. We were going to draw on some sort of uptrend here. There we go. So it's very interesting that it's actually coming into play right now. I wasn't too fond about it, but it does seem to be working right now. And you can literally quote me, go back, watch yesterday's video, scroll over to the daily, and I said I wanted to draw an uptrend on here, but I wanted to hold off on it. I didn't think it was that important because we were on the 4 hour. Interesting enough, that is exactly what we're coming into contact with right now. We'll see if this price holds. Again, a reason for us to make this small short-term dip in a long run movement is due to the fact that we were overbought. That is why we're seeing that slight correction. But if you do notice, we are still setting higher lows, which is a very good thing. So if we can continue this pattern, we should be able to move up. Even we have a small correction, one small step for man, one giant step for mankind. So we are going to hopefully continue to move upwards in this pattern. This is definitely a healthy move in terms of correction and seeing some previous highs, but otherwise things do seem to be quite nice. You know, we are still coming into contact with that high-low MMA. You can see right here, we're not there yet, but it is possible that we could break down and retest that. You can see the previous 4 hour candle actually did break below. I'm just going to zoom in so we can all see that for you mobile guys, people who are watching this on their iPhones or whatever. You can see this previous candle did come into contact. We retraced back up. We're back onto the support right here, and we are most likely going to trade up and bounce up off of that. So things don't look too bad. I think we're going to continue this pattern upwards. I'd be shocked if we broke even more bearish and, you know, fell all the way down to like, you know, 62. But I do think a play moving us up is definitely something to pay attention to. Moving on to Ethereum, you can see Ethereum's resistance that we drew yesterday. You can see right here. It does, I'm going to call this right now. It's very obvious as to what Ethereum's doing. It's pretty much going to fall back down, correct back down to around 205. Basically, it's high-low MMA. You can see it went straight up, but it did face some resistance, almost entered overbought. You can see right there. Pretty much was overbought. It seems like it's trying to head right back down to its high-low MMA. So a nice meet at around 206 could be a play. We'll see if that bounces off there. But as soon as it touches, get ready to purchase, because that is definitely a good buying opportunity if we, revert back up. Because we've been above this on the 4-hour for quite some time, a small little bump and move back up is definitely something in play. But otherwise, I think we're all below the high-low MMA. Even on Ethereum's daily, you can see it is way below its high-low middle moving average. So I do think in the long run, a long-term position, if you bought in now, it's a really good price, because I do anticipate a move, back up to 266 to 70 in a couple months. It's definitely due to move up to that level, because it's below it. I've been right on it every single time in the past. We eventually have to move back up and retest that high-low MMA. So definitely a movement in the long term back up to 260 from 206. You make $60 per coin. It's a pretty good profit. Lastly, for all those who enjoy my XRP review, we are looking at XRP right now, and like I said in yesterday's, or a couple days ago when we reviewed XRP, I made a video basically stating that there was some sort of ascending triangle forming, and I'm still going to hold true to that. We are seeing an interesting pattern though form. You can see the uptrend right here, and you can see we were trading sideways in between the high-low MMA, also this resistance at around 47 cents, and you can see we broke bullish from that, retested 57 cents, that top high. We've now had there's a double bottom here, reason being for the fall. Also, it was overbought past. You can see once again it retested 57, also being overbought, and now we are pulling back down to our high-low MMA. I do honestly think this is exactly what's going to happen. I do think we're going to just trade out on here, bounce up off that, and then head back up, potentially shoot up or downwards. We're going to obviously make that call the closer we get. But otherwise, that's going to sum up the episode for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.